Lovely Iridium. We're back for All Killer, No Filler, Total Frustration, and we got Jam and Dominic with me again, of course. All right, guys.
Hello. All right.
So we're up to a really, well, we've been creeping up to some excellent years in metal, and we're up to 1985, which was amazing for me.
Yeah.
No, might not be for everyone, but it was for me. All us old people, it's quite good, isn't it?
Yep, definitely.
Yes. All of us old people.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So 1985, if anyone's watching for the first time, I don't think they are, because we have exactly the amount of same people watching it every time. But the rules
you never
are...
know, man.
Exactly. We have to go away each week. We do this once a week, and we pick like a playlist, if you like, from that year. So we're at 1985, where the songs we choose, we can't repeat an album. So we can only choose one song off each album. And the track listing has to match the track listing of the original album. And, you know, if you're lucky, you'll catch a show where I fuck up or someone fucks up or it gets questioned. You know, that's the more interesting one. So
it's usually Lee.
Yes, it is usually me. So there's paranoia involved in this, because the work you've been doing, you know, if it all goes wrong, it can be devastating. So there you go.
Definitely.
So, okay. So I think Jam might have gone first last time.
I did, yeah.
So we're going to go Dominic.
Right.
We're going to go Dominic, Jam, then me. We're going to go from track 1 to track 10. We're still up to track 10, only 10 tracks at the moment. It will maybe get a bit higher at a later stage. So Dominic, track 1, mate.
Yes, sir. Okay, track 1 is track 1 from Slayer Helix, title track. Their second full-length album. Leaps and bounds as far as productions compared to their first one. But Helix is one of their seminal songs. They I first saw them do it, Clash of Titans tour in 1990. This was in the States. I think it was a bit different in the UK. It was Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax on a rotating basis. So you had no idea when you showed up at the arena who was going to be playing first and second and third.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went to that. We had, I think we had the same bands, but we had, I can't remember what our opening band was, but you got Alice in Chains, didn't you? Whereas we got Testament, I think.
Yeah,
like
which I think is a much better fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Slayer was up first, and it was just nothing. That's the first time I'd seen Slayer, and Helix was the first track, and it was just, everything was just bathed in red, and it was just amazing. So I always have good memories of that. So Helix had to be on my 85 list. So there you go.
Nice.
Slayer.
Cool. Good song.
Good start to an album or your playlist. I mean, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got Jam?
Right, I'm going for my first paranoia moment, and it's a soundtrack. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe this is on any of their studio albums, so I think it's allowed. And it is from Rocky IV soundtrack, and it's Survivor and Burning Heart.
No, I think you're right, mate. I think you're right.
I did check. I don't think it's on any of the Survivor albums, I must admit. But so anyway, I'm going with that. So yeah, Rocky IV soundtrack is absolutely brilliant. Darren from Sleeve Saturday's done a great show on it. If you haven't seen it, there is probably a better song I like on this album, but I'm not sure I could have that one. But I can cover that in the honourable mentions. But yeah, Burning Heart.
That's so complicated.
I know.
No, it's a great choice though, mate. I love that song. I don't get sick of it either. I don't get sick of that song. I've heard it plenty of times. I like it. I like it a lot better of Eye of the Tiger as well.
I completely agree. It's not overplayed. It's just very similar sort of vein to the song, isn't it? Because they wanted to do the same thing again. But it's just great and the best Rocky film as well. Brilliant bit in the film when they play this. I'm not a big Survivor fan. This is probably, I don't really know any songs apart from the Rocky ones, to be honest, if I'm honest with you. But no, great song and good song to open the album with, I think.
Good one, mate. Good start. Well, my first choice. They're never going to appear again. So this is like a one-off. You probably remember the band though. They was about at the time. I think they was on the Strip as well, at the Sunset Strip. That if you read hear a lot of the documentaries, if you watch a lot of those on Amazon and that sort of stuff about the Sunset Strip, you hear this band mentioned a lot. Warrior.
Oh yeah.
You hear it, yeah. So they were like almost like they were one of these loincloth sword and a sword type bands. and the song is called "Fighting for the Earth," and it's brilliant song. I'll suggest you guys don't look like you know it, so that's a good thing.
No, I don't.
This was their debut album, and it's the title track, "Fighting for the Earth," off of that same album. Excellent song, really heavy. It's even got a demon voice coming in it, you know. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, yes, it's got everything but metal. It's a real metal song. You would absolutely love it, both of you. So I suggest as soon as you come off here, you have a listen. "Fighting for the Earth" by Warrior. There you go. Nice. Excellent vocal and all. The bloke's got a great vocal. I think they bought a few albums out, one at a later stage, only 4 albums in their whole career, something like that. But there's something about this song is just, it's amazing. You will love it. There you go.
Well, I'll be getting on that as soon as you listen to any of the other ones that I've picked that you don't.
I've heard them all.
From like 1980 and 81. I'm sure you've gone back and listened to all of those.
I have. They're on my own playlist. I've got a Dominic playlist on Spotify that I listen to every time.
Of course. Yeah, of course you do.
Okay.
Now, Warrior, I'll check it out. It out.
You will love it. I don't even know if there's a video. If there is a video, they will definitely be in loincloths and fighting dragons and shit. That's what will be happening. So I
think all the videos in your mind.
Hey, what was that, Dom?
I said that's what you have in your mind, you know?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
So you don't want to spoil it by actually seeing a video, probably, because it's
no, exactly. Okay, we're on to track 2.
Okay. Number 2. Not really a power ballad, but it is kind of a love song. This is by a Canadian band called Honeymoon Suite. Any recollections of Honeymoon Suite?
Yeah. Okay. They were quite on the softer side of rock.
They were, keyboardy, but certainly, guitars there as well. I mean, they're a rock band, but definitely on the full AOR side. This was their biggest hit in the States, called "Feel It Again," which just has a great chorus, and just everything you love about AOR is on here. A great vocal, really clear production. This is kind of their standout track for me. It's not a band that I own everything in their discography or anything, but this track always stood out for me, and I never get to hear it unless it's just at home and I have it on my iTunes. So not like anything that's overplayed. But they are kind of one of those cult AOR bands that you do read about, when somebody is talking about the year or whatever. So,
there's so many of them AOR bands in there that at the time they couldn't break, and now they're just looked on as, like you said, cult status almost. So there's loads of them. There's loads of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is one of them. That's a good one.
Good one, mate. Excellent choice. Right. You've gone from Slayer to Honeymoon Suite. I mean, that's just...
Don't you love it? And I should mention this is from the album called The Big Prize. I didn't say that.
Okay then, mate. Thank you very much.
Okay,
back to Jam on track 2.
Yeah, I've not started with a heavy start, and I'm continuing with that as well, because I'm going for Magnum from On a Storyteller's Night, released in May '85, and it's Just Like an Arrow. Now, Magnum, another band, a bit like Marillion on my last list, that I never thought I'd listen to when I was 17, 18 at the time. Well, not then, but...
was that kind of old music as well?
Yeah, it was just because they're a bit soft for me, back in when I started listening to, and I just thought they were for old man and all that sort of stuff. But it's weird what you go back and listen to when you get older, isn't it? Now I'm an old man myself, and I have to go back and listen to it. But no, I just love Just Like an Arrow. It's great. So it was one of their best albums on the Storyteller's Night, and the title track's really good on this album as well. But Just Like an Arrow, just a sing-alongable sort of, I guess, hard rock song. But one of the better ones, I think. Love the album cover as well.
I was going to say, let's give a shout out to that album cover. That's one of the best album covers around at the time.
Yeah. Magnum have done some great album covers. Some of them not so good. That one with the unicorn on it, not so good.
That's Darren's favourite.
Yeah. No, not for me.
Okay.
Dominic's not saying anything. Look.
No, I'm just taking a mental note. Okay, in the future, Jam does not like unicorns, so I won't be buying you one for your birthday or anything. Unless it's maybe throwing the horns or something. I'm not sure. But,
there's nothing wrong with a mythical creature, but I prefer better ones than horses with the horn.
It's all white and pale. Yeah.
Yeah, that on the Storyteller's Night though is a really great album cover. Okay, this is the second band that's not going to appear again on my list. So a band called Helix. I'm sure you remember them.
I've heard of Helix.
Yeah, heavy metal love and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So from the album Long Way to Heaven, which at the time wasn't known as one. It was known as a weak album, but it's the only album that I actually got for some reason. It ended up in my collection, and it's not there now either because I haven't got any records left, obviously. But the song "Deep Cuts the Knife," and it was a single, and it was a sort of a ballad, but quite heavy. You know, people could argue that it's not a ballad. It starts off sort of acoustic guitar, but then it gets quite heavy. But it's really catchy. I actually really love it. I think it's a brilliant song, and like I said, it's the only album I had of theirs. I could understand the hate for it because it was like there was a few songs on the album at the beginning that I loved, and then it just like a lot of albums back then, it just waned off. They put them all at the front end, didn't they? The good songs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then it sort of like waned off into an album that I just played a couple of songs off, like many albums I did in the 80s. But Deep Cuts the Knife though is another one I suggest. Obviously, you can put it on your Lee playlist, Dom, when you come.
I certainly will. Yeah.
Okay.
The one that I put on all the time, I'll just add it onto that.
Exactly. Exactly. There you go. Deep Cuts the Knife is my number 2. So 2 bands that will not appear again. I wouldn't have thought. Okay.
Well, that's the great thing about doing these years. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, exactly. To tell you the truth, the number 1 spot on your track listing's got to be the hardest one, isn't it? Because there's just so many that you want at number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. It always is. That was an absolute coin toss. My number 1. I was going back and forth last night. I couldn't decide, and then I finally just, I had to cave in and go with Slayer. Right? When in doubt, go with Slayer. That's my mantra. Really, for my life.
Okay, then, mate. Track number 3. What you got?
Yeah, track number 3. Well, I'm the first one in on this album. I think it's probably going to be on both of yours as well at some point. This is Lay It Down.
Oh, yeah. What a riff.
Of your privacy.
Yeah.
Or privacy for those in conference here. We say privacy, obviously, but no, Lay It Down. I mean, what?
Man, yeah.
An amazing, amazing song. Everything about it. Everything about it is just perfect.
Amazing album, man. Oh, just everything from start
I have
to
to
finish.
say, for some reason, he comes across kind of like an idiot, especially over the last few years with him trying to do the rap name without anybody else. But Bobby Blotzer may be one of my favorite drummers of all time. The groove that he lays down is just lay it down.
Yes, I see what you did there.
The groove that he lays down is that, but he puts that little bit of sass in there. Man, he is just a great drummer. I love his stuff so much, probably even more than Tommy Lee, which I know is. But
yeah, I mean, Stephen Pearcy has said, didn't he, if he's going to do another album, he wants to do it with all the surviving members. Obviously, they're not all with us anymore, but he wants to do it if they're here with us. He wants to do it with them. But I mean, that was a great album, man. That last one, Infestation, it was a good effort, but
absolutely.
But obviously, that would be nice to have them all back, all the ones that could be back. But I don't think it'll ever happen. He sounds like a proper pain in the ass to work with, Stephen Pearcy. It's just like they're probably thinking, fuck that. Why do I want all that hassle?
It's the same way with the Skid Row boys. That's the way that they feel. They just won't do it for any amount of money. They just can't handle the headache of it. So anyway, Rat, Lay It Down.
No, I can't argue with that. that could literally be the best song on your playlist, you know, for this year. That's fucking brilliant song. Absolutely brilliant. You got the same, Jam? What are you looking at?
Well, I've gone for one of my favourite songs of all time instead. Well, I say instead, it's the same song, isn't it? It's Lay It Down. It's got to be into it. It is one of.
I figured if you didn't open with "You're in Love" on your list, then you would probably have "Lay It Down."
Yeah, I thought other people might have it, but I thought I don't care because it is one of my favourite songs of all time. I play it all the time. Every time I put some music on, I always play it. The only problem for me is it's too quiet. The chord is quite quiet, and no matter how loud I turn it up, it still doesn't seem to be loud enough. But apart from that, it's absolutely brilliant, as you said.
It's never loud enough.
Well, I mean, I haven't got that song, but I'm not going to tell you what the rest of my list is, but it's one of them albums where you could just leave it till last, really, can't you? The album, so that gives you a bit of a clue what's going to go on. So
yeah, it's not the song that I had originally. I did have like a deeper album cut at first, but 3 just happened to open up, and I'm like, oh Jesus, okay.
There's another song on there which I'll talk about later, which I absolutely love. I near enough put it with "Lay It Down." It's just absolutely brilliant, but that's not actually the one on my list either. This is fucking, it's just Jam's fucking rules, isn't it? That's what's fucked me up on this one. Anyway.
Messed you all up.
Okay, I'm going for a bit of Christian metal now on this next one.
Ooh.
So track 3, not from the band you might think it is. I don't need praying for, I'm all right. I've been a good boy all my life. Joshua, the band Joshua. So these were
not a clue, mate. Not a clue.
From their album Surrender, Your Love Is Gone. So this is a band they've actually got. These are a brilliant band, by the way. Joshua Pariah is the guy's name. He's a brilliant guitarist. He's one of these shredders, but he can really be like play nice harmonizing stuff as well. Jeff Fenholt is actually an evangelist now, or he was. Yeah, exactly.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, so he went from being an actually brilliant vocalist, heavy rock vocalist, heavy metal vocalist, to being an evangelist. Ken Tamplin. Oh, got a cat just about to get onto the obviously, and now knocked my phone off. Well done. Ken Tamplin, but might know him from band Shout, and he's he's got a big vocal academy thing now. But they're a great band actually. They brought out 2 albums in the 80s, then they disappeared, brought another one out later, sort of thing. But really melodic in that sort of Striper vein, I suppose, that, you know, that feel, if you like. But Rob Rock actually sang for this band at a later stage, so that might hit me list at a later stage as well. But yeah, Your Love Is Gone, absolutely brilliant. A lot of it is I don't think all the lyrics are Christian based, actually. I'm not really sure, but I know they are. I don't know if they're a Christian band. You know what some of these Christian bands say, don't they? They're a Christian band. Others say they're a metal band playing Christian songs. I don't know what the difference is.
It depends on what magazine they're doing the interview with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But if you like your stuff really melodic, catchy, it's good for you. It's a big album for me, actually, Surrender. And it was another one of those ones, actually, that was packed at the front with all the big songs, and then it waned off a little bit, but still a great. So Your Love Is Gone is my number 3.
So how, in 1985, you're like, what, 14 or something? Or
yes, I would have probably been, depending on when the album came out, 14 or 15, I would have been.
Yeah. So how do you find out about a Christian band called Joshua? And I've never even heard of them.
Kerrang.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I used to get it. I used to buy it every week. So, and back when Kerrang was good back then, though, wasn't it? So
it was fantastic. Oh God, yeah.
So it was.
I used to buy it on import. Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to get albums just off of the reviews alone. Just read about it. If it said it was good, I used to get it. Yeah. So yeah, that was all I had really. Kerrang.
That's all there was. Yeah. Metal Hammer as well come out. I thought that was out a bit later. Raw as well come out a bit later.
I mean, if Kerrang, I used to, because I was so tight, in the end, I used to go in and just pick it off the shelf and read the reviews in the shop. I'm a tight bastard. But
because you'd have more money left over to go buy the record.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was only doing that a while ago, and then I decided it wasn't even worth fucking picking up anymore because it's so shit.
Exactly.
There you go. Don't do it no more. But we don't need it anymore, do we? Because we've got fucking YouTube and we got
we have everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to give a shout out to the magazine that gives me the most pleasure these days is Fireworks magazine.
I was wondering what he was going to say there.
I wonder what he was going to say.
Oh, you thought I was going to go naughty, did you?
Well, it was leading up to that. The magazine that gives me the most pleasure. What the fuck?
No, Fireworks magazine that comes out 4 times a year. It is chock full of reviews. I'd say probably at least half, maybe 2/3 of the magazine are just rock and metal reviews. And
that's all I want to. That's all I want to read. To tell you the truth, I just want a magazine with reviews in it. But
yeah,
I've got this certain websites I go to now on the
sure.
internet.
Well, I think Fireworks have a website as well, but I don't know. It's just something about the printed page, and I like to support them because they really are the only ones that are doing that. And I have found so much of the last 5 years through them. So thank you, Fireworks magazine. But they're UK publication as well. So support your local metal people.
Great. Good one, mate.
People.
Okay. Track 4, Dom.
I do want to say I can't let this go. The Jeff Fenholt guy, he used to be on American Christian Network all the time, and they would always say Jeff Fenholt from Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah, because he'd done something, didn't he? He'd done some demo. He tried out for him or something. But I mean, Black Sabbath, evangelist from Black Sabbath.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Formerly from Black Sabbath, and now he's on the Christian channel. It's like, please. I think you saw the guy for maybe 2 days or something.
Yeah,
he did. Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I must admit, he got a great voice, but you know that evangelism, not good, not good.
Gets every time. Okay, I'm going to move on. Number 4 is King Cobra, which is Carmine Appice and your favorite Johnny Rod before he joined Wasp. And who else is in that band? Mick Sweeta from Bullet Boys is the guitar player. And of course, the singer is Marcy Free, formerly known as Mark Free, but AOR singing legend, still has a great voice. So this is their debut album, Ready to Strike. Track I got here is called Shake Up. Great album, just your terrific 1985 metal, you know. Signed to a major, so the production's great. It's got a very kind of I don't know, kind of a Pyromania type, you know, sounding production as they all did, but very full and great. And Marcy Free's a great singer. If you don't know any King Cobra,
I do. No, I do.
Okay.
I used to have the Thrill of a Lifetime album back then.
Oh right, yeah, that's the one after this. Yeah.
Never Say Die, Iron Eagle. They did the Iron Eagle soundtrack.
Oh, Iron Eagle, yeah.
Iron Eagle, I
remember that action movies, don't you?
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, they always sounded like they should be heavier than they were. I don't know why. They were quite AOR, weren't they? But they had that look, sound like they were going to be heavier for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe this album might be heavier than the one you had. I think they got progressively more commercial as they went on. Yeah. Because this one, I guess there are AOR moments, but I think of it as just a hard rock album. So yeah, Ready to Strike song there is Shake Up.
Right, mate. Good one. Okay. Dan, what you got, mate?
Number 4. This is the track number I struggled with most, actually. I didn't have a 4 for ages, and I thought I just had another check through what albums come out, and I don't quite know I missed this. So I struggled with track 4. As you say, I won't have any honourable mentions for this, but in the end, I got a really good song, and it's Lee's favourite singer, Mr. Ronnie James Dio, from Sacred Heart album, and it's Rock and Roll Children, which is a great track. I was so lucky when I saw this album, and it was like, oh yeah, of course I can have that concert.
Gets a bit of stick, this Rock and Roll Children, because it was a bit more.
Sure does, yeah.
A bit more commercial. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
when the verses, those verses are just, it was starting to rain.
You can't get no more dramatic than that, can you?
Exactly.
And him in his crystal ball. Fucking
somebody slammed the door.
Bang! Yeah. Oh, mate.
Absolutely. Sorry, Jam.
Brilliant.
We've hijacked here.
Yeah. Yeah, good one, mate.
I'm not doing any singing. Don't worry about that. So that's fine. You guys could do that. No, it's a good song. I'm glad I could fit it in, really. But it's probably, as you say, not one of his supposedly better albums, but it's still the third album, is it? Third album?
Yeah, third album. I mean, I loved it. I tell you what, I loved the album a lot more then than I do now. I actually fell in love with the album. It was as strong as the other two for me at the time when I was 15 or whatever. But over the years, you can understand, you know, the classic quality of those first two over that one.
Yeah.
You know, especially at the end of the album, it waned off again with Shoot Shoot and all that sort of stuff weren't brilliant compared to the first two albums, you know. But some great songs. I love Rock and Roll Children. Great choice. Yeah. And I'm glad
very good choice.
You made us sing as well, so we must love that one. So there you go. Okay, we talked about my track 4. We talked about bands, didn't we, that at the time maybe didn't have much success, but now they're looked on as big, you know, and favourites and cult status, if you like. And that's the band Icon. So they had an album out called Night of the Crime, which is looked on as one of the best melodic hard rock albums of the 80s, basically. And it is. It's a brilliant album. And I could have chosen this another one. This basically, I ended up with track 4, a bit like you didn't know what to do. And then this band, you could just put any of the tracks off this album on it. So it's the song Take Another Shot at My Heart, which is just a brilliant bit of melodic hard rock out of the 80s. They were an excellent band. Yeah. Especially this album's looked at as a classic melodic.
It really is. And you are right. It's one of those that at the time nobody was talking about it. But now, if you go on any sort of list of the best of 80s or whatever, you always see this album.
You always do. And it was the album. I think they might have had one out before this or two, and then they had another album out after. But none of them were like, this one is the one that was looked at as a classic. So there you go. Icon. I think I include it in one of my underrated artists of A to Z as well, because they didn't do it money wise. They didn't do fuck all. They didn't do anything. But
no,
it's a shame.
At the time, nothing.
No, nothing at all. But there you go. But looked on as a classic now. Bit fucking late now, isn't it? What are they gonna get someone download a fucking song off of Spotify and get like a penny between the whole band, you know?
Bit fucking late now.
Bit fucking late. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're getting some interesting choices today. I'm loving it today. It's good. Right.
Yeah. I like it as well. Okay, number 5 is. Sorry.
So I was just going to say, I've got a couple of left field ones coming up as well later. So
Good.
Let's keep it rolling. Number 5 is Loudness. From their classic album Thunder in the East. Obviously, I think everyone probably knows Rock and Roll Crazy Night.
No.
This was a single called What?
I didn't listen to any Loudness.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's just a band that I never did. And Mark Clower's a huge Loudness fan. Yeah, and he keeps banging on about Loudness. I'm going to have to add it to my Mark Clower Spotify list, I think.
Don't believe him, Mark. He doesn't have a Mark Clower Spotify list. Just in case you thought that was like a real thing. All right, so let's go back. We Could Be Together, which is track number 5, obviously. Always a favorite. This is just a melodic, terrific chorus. Much has been said about the guitar player for this band. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. But as we said, I mean, it's going to be a common theme here. It's just that classic, well-produced, melodic, hard rock of 1985. And, you know, if you're not a fan, or if you weren't there, you could easily say, oh, these all sound the same. Well, I mean, I guess to an extent they do, you know. Everything has a great riff and a melodic chorus and a great guitar solo, and, you know, but if you love it, you love it, and we love it. So
Exactly.
I can tell the difference between any of these bands, you know, right away. Anyway, Loudness, Thunder in the East, classic debut album from Loudness, and we could be together.
Brilliant, mate. Oh, excellent. Okay, Jam, what you got, mate?
Right. Second could be seen as controversial.
Oh yeah.
Choice. Well, it's Gary Moore from Run for Cover, and it's Out in the Field. Now, it's track 5 on Wikipedia. It's track 5 on the vinyl release. It's track 6 on CD. It had an extra track, but it's 85, so I'm going the vinyl must have come out first.
I
so
agree.
I'm having it at track 5. But if someone's got it at track 6, we're not going to get upset about it. So I've got it for track 5, and it's Out in the Field. I'm not a massive Gary Moore fan. I think we've discussed him a bit before, haven't we? Said we all prefer him doing his rock stuff rather than his blues stuff. But Out in the Field is one of his best known songs. But for me, I don't hear it too many times. I like the song.
I fucking love that song. I love that fucking song.
It's whenever it comes on, the volume goes up, not down, and change the channel. So it's classic Gary Moore. I like this. I like another one is the album that came out afterwards, which I won't mention yet, just in case I have it on my list. But love this song. Classic, Run for Cover. 5th album by Gary Moore, apparently, as well. I didn't realise he'd done that many.
It's a great song. Absolutely brilliant. I didn't even know it was on an album, to tell you the truth. I didn't know if it was just a single or whatever, but I love it. Absolutely love that song. Good. I might have actually chose that if I knew. Fucking pissed off now. I might have chose that one.
Oh well.
But my track 5 is excellent, though. So this is off my favourite Accept album with Udo, or Udo, whatever you pronounce his name. Metal Heart album, which is just, I love it. It's known as the commercial album, I suppose, of Accept at the time. I fucking love it. A huge production, which sounds like it would like now, you'd listen to it now, and it's just massive. The drum sound, the bass, the guitars, everything about it is perfect. And it's Screaming for a Love Bite. And what a title for a fucking song as well. Hey? Screaming for a love bite. It's fucking
definitely a German.
Oh yeah. It's fun. The riffing's fun. There's a couple of songs on here that are just. I mean, there's another one that I would have loved to have got on this list as well, but it just didn't work out that way. But I love that whole album. It's a huge sounding album from start to finish.
I think it's great too. And it's funny. I don't even really. I mean, I guess "Screaming for Love Bite" is a bit more of a poppy chorus, but the album as a whole, I don't really see that much difference between that and Balls to the Wall. Really,
it probably is the production, because I think the others had a rougher edge, and this just had a real clean sound to it, which I loved. I just thought it was perfect. It wasn't overproduced like fucking Hysteria or anything like that. We're talking it's heavy still, but I suppose for Accept it was a little bit polished. But brilliant. Their best album as far as I was concerned of that era. Easy. So there you go. Okay, we're moving on to track 6.
Halfway there.
6 is look at 6. It's Icon from Night of the Crime. My track is called Raise the Hammer. Yeah, great song. We've said probably all we need to say about Icon on the previous pick. An album that you'll see in every article about the best 80s.
I mean, they sounded like a lot of bands, didn't they? They did sound like a lot of bands, but there was another one of these bands again where they had a bit of class to them. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And then the songwriting and, the choruses and everything. So Icon, Raise the Hammer from Night of the Crime.
Great, mate. Brilliant choice. Okay. What you got there, mate?
6. I'm going, probably not for everybody, these. Bit gothic rock, and one of my favourite artists. I don't think we really call them a band, and it's Sisters of Mercy. from their debut album, and it's First and Last and Always, and it's the title track, First, Last and Always. I know not everybody will like these. Obviously, it's pretty much a Chandler Eldritch is the only member of the band still. It's always been a drum machine, which I've forgotten what they call the drum machine now. Dr.
Avalanche.
That's it, Dr. Avalanche, yeah. But I like Sister Mercy. They've only done 3 albums after all these years, and this is the debut one. I've seen them. It's the last band I saw before lockdown, and I've actually got tickets to see them again. It was going to be my first band after lockdown, although hopefully I'm going to download Pilot, but that's a different story. But yeah, Sister Mercy, good live, because they do have a proper live band. Obviously not a drummer, but they've always been one of my favourite bands, and obviously sing-alongable, danceable, with a constant beat sort of going through. But they're just obviously a mainstay of most gothic nights out or whatever.
I did not. I don't think
legal like them
for a closet goth. I did not figure you for a closet goth.
I wish he'd had his eyeliner on. He should have had his eyeliner on today. That would have been brilliant, wouldn't it? I'd love that.
No, I've never dressed up like a goth, but I like these. I like other gothic bands as well. So I just like the music. Same as anything, isn't it? You like the music or you don't. So not for everybody, but Sister Mercy will probably appear on my list over the 3 albums they did do. But what they're doing, they might appear next few years.
That's still probably my favorite is First and Last and Always. Because just those opening 3 songs, Black Planet and No Time to Cry, and I can't remember the other one. Just great.
Well, I quite like the album they released, which is all the old stuff on. They released sort of singles with Alice and stuff like that on there as well. I like all that sort of stuff.
All right, what was there was a compilation that had all the.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, yes.
Good choice, mate. Good choice. Mixing it up a little bit. So my track 6 is, we spoke about this band actually before, and I didn't get them on the list because this album is the one for me that they hit the heights. This was perfect, this album, and one of the biggest albums of that year, of the 80s actually. Coney Hatch, Canadian band, and off of their Friction album, which is just could near enough be a 10 out of 10 album for me. And the song Fantasy, really catchy. Might not have made it because they were Canadian. I don't think that helped them at the time. I'm not sure. But known as another big album, like I read about this one and it got a 5 out of 5 Ks or whatever it was in Kerrang, I think it did. And it said it was a perfect slice of melodic hard rock. And I totally agree. Absolutely brilliant album. Brilliant song, Fantasy. My favourite song off of that is She's Gone, but it was track 2 and I just had to get the Helix one in there, but it's an excellent album from start to finish. So put that on your Lee Spotify list, you guys. All right.
Coney Hatch.
Coney Hatch.
Yeah.
Friction. Perfect. Not I remember the album cover. All it was just like someone had been like, I don't know, they had like a grinder and it was like the sparks coming off the grinder. That was about it. It's a bit of a plain album cover, but a very underrated band as well at the time. They brought out a little bit of music a little while ago. It just wasn't the same a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think we talked about them on a different year. Yeah.
But Friction is a perfect album. Absolutely brilliant. That's my number 6, Coney Hatch. Ooh. Fantasy.
Cool.
Okay, track 7, guys.
Number 7. Again, we're just spoiled for choice, but this song has always stood out for me. Black and Blue are back with their second album, Without Love, and this song is called Bombastic Plastic. It's all about the joy you get from your record, obviously. But it's got a very kind of I don't know, almost like a Rock of Ages type feel to it. Just a very plodding, but a great kind of shout-along chorus.
They've done a few of them sort of songs, haven't they? On every album.
Yeah. They were quite good. Yeah, they were quite good and quite underrated.
Definitely.
Bombastic Plastic. I just love saying it.
Brilliant, mate.
There you go, Black and Blue, second album.
They're definitely going to be appearing later stage for me. Not now, but they will be for sure in later years, for sure. Won't be able to stop myself on that one. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Cool.
Okay. Track 7, what you got, Jam?
Number 7, right. So I'm going from goth rock to folk rock now, and I'm going for New Model Army. First appearance, did mention them as an honourable mention. And the album No Rest for the Wicked, which is their second album, and the song is No Rest, which is the title track effectively. But yeah, I like the New Model Army. They got a bit heavy. I probably only listened to a point, I think up until the album from 91, which I've forgotten its name, Love something or other, Love. Anyway, but yeah, the first start of New Model Army, they've done a lot of albums, and I haven't never seen them, but they've got so many songs that they probably wouldn't play much. I know now because I'm only sort of the first 4 or 5 albums of their stuff, but they did get pretty rocky towards the end. There's not much, not particularly folky, and they're not for everybody. Once again, I'm not sure I agree with their politics. That's a different story. But No Rest for the Wicked is just a great sing-along song. Bit of acoustic guitar in there, and yeah, some really good stuff. I've never checked out the New Model Army. They're definitely worth listening to. So maybe not for everybody, but
well, I haven't got a Jam playlist yet, but I'll make sure I'll just get one sorted out after this show.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, okay. Right, okay. My next one is from Dokken, and this is from their best album by far for me, Under Lock and Key.
Let's say this is from Lee's favorite Dokken album. Yes,
my favorite definitely the best Dokken album they brought out.
No. It's just your favorite, Lee.
My favorite and the best. That's not an opinion. That's the fact. That is so.
Right.
Off the Under Lock and Key album, and this is another album we've spoken about this before, where you could just leave it until the end, but there are some better tracks than this on the album, but it's still brilliant. So it's Jaded Heart off of Under Lock and Key.
Interesting choice.
Bit of a semi-ballad, I'd say. Not quite a ballad, but you know, one of them ones you could argue that is a ballad or is not, you know, if you really want to argue about it. But I just love this album. I just thought it was at their peak. Don Dokken's voice was just amazing all the way through it. And for me, the next album, even though I might use it on our later lists, it just wasn't quite there. This was the peak for me for Dokken. But a brilliant song off an excellent album. There you go, Jaded Heart. And Lynch, you got to mention George Lynch, I suppose, didn't you? What a fantastic player he is as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know it was him, didn't you? When you heard the guitar, you knew it was him. It's just absolutely brilliant. That's it, guys. Moving on to track 8. Get in there.
Track 8. What do I got? Oh, well, again, we've got an album we've already spoken about. I've got Magnum as well.
Cool.
From On a Storyteller's Night. I've got the track Steal Your Heart, which is just AOR goodness. It's it couldn't be more keyboardy and just a brilliant chorus. But yeah, AOR as much as they come. But what a great song. We didn't really get Magnum in the States, so this is a kind of a later thing for me. Always read about this album. This album always is somewhere on a Storyteller's Night as their best moment.
Sorry, Don, go on.
Go ahead.
I was going to say AOR in general. At what point does it become AOR and not melodic hard rock or rock? Do you think is it the synthesizers? Is it the loudness of the guitars? Do you think that's mainly what it is?
That's exactly what I would. Those would be the answers I would give. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's hard to differentiate if it's a rock song or AOR or it's just a bit.
Yeah. No, I mean I completely understand what you mean. But yeah, I think it's exactly what you said. I think it's the keyboards maybe louder in the mix than the guitars. And just a very everything's kind of headed towards that chorus, that soaring chorus kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess if you can imagine it in an 80s action film, it's AOR. But if you can, if you can imagine it in like one of those music montages where they're getting, they're getting ready for the big whatever it is.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
I think that's probably AOR.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's an album I've reviewed, Kent Healy. I don't know if you watched the review yet. Frontiers actually sent it to me a little bit early, which was nice. And the whole album is it sounds like you're waiting for Rocky to train for the last fight. It's fucking brilliant.
Right, okay.
It is fucking brilliant.
There you go.
It is excellent. Yes, but,
you're the best.
Oh yeah, it's good. It is, but yeah, I know what you mean. I was just wondering because sometimes there's a line in there. What's AOR and what isn't? But
yeah,
it's the keyboards, isn't it? It's definitely the keyboards and the guitar, the loudness of the guitar.
Yeah, and I would also maybe say the image as well. AOR bands normally don't have the primp and the nice outfits and the big hair. They're more like the ugly guys of rock do AOR.
Yeah, they might be in a suit. They might be in a suit or a shirt or something.
Yeah,
like that.
It's just it's definitely just something you feel in your gut, Lee.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for clarifying that. Anyway, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
What you got, Jam? Great choice, by the way, you guys.
Couldn't be further away from AOR. I'm going with Lee's favourite Anthrax album, Spreading the Disease.
Brilliant.
Second album. Didn't really care too much for the first album. It's not very thrashy, actually, even though it's got metal thrashing mad on it. The first album. Second album's probably more like what you'd experience.
Brilliant album cover, of course. Brilliant album
Great
cover
album
on that first album, mate.
Yeah. The first album cover. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what it's like. What the fuck? I don't know what was going on, but there you go. but that one's brilliant though. That album cover is fucking excellent. Isn't it?
That's it. And actually, Anthrax album covers are pretty bad, to be honest. I mean, Among the Living's, it's iconic, but it's not great, is it? State of Euphoria is not brilliant either. But Spreading the Disease is definitely a very good album cover. But the song is Medusa, which is track 8, classic Anthrax song. Still played to this day, I believe. Last time I saw them, I think we played it. But it's got some great lyrics. So talking about mythical creatures, I was going to mention it. I was like, oh, better not say that. It's a much better one than a unicorn, a Medusa. So we'll go with that one.
All right. So Medusa, thumbs up. Unicorns.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah, that's it. In top trumps, Medusa wins. Unicorns can sod off.
Well, I've got Medusa as well.
Well, that's it.
Wow.
What a brilliant song. Joey Belladonna, his best vocal performance by far as well on any Anthrax record, in my opinion. I don't know, he had so much power then. And I think he just started singing differently. I don't think he lost his power. He just started singing differently, which is a bit strange. There was more of a metal band then, I think, on Spreading the Disease than they were. It was definitely thrash at times, but they became a proper thrash band after that album. I prefer them like this as a metal band, which they're a bit like now and all. They're like a metal band now. Yeah. But that excellent riff. And then Joey Belladonna coming in with the whoa whoa at the beginning. And it's like, wow, fucking hell. What an excellent song. Really catchy. Really catchy.
Cool, yeah. Medusa's just staring at you.
Yeah, excellent. Absolutely excellent. Good choice, Jam.
I say we've got two matches up today, haven't we, so far?
Yes. All right, okay. Yeah, right. Track number 9.
Track number 9 for me is Nawabum Favorites Demon. This is from their album, I got to get this right, British Standard Approved. I always get that wrong. This track is called Wonderland. It was the single. Demon is really weird because you would think by their name and even by their logo that they'd be like a Venom type band or something, and they're not. They're completely melodic. Even in the later years, even quite keyboard heavy as well. But great tunes. I'd say comparable to UFO for me. This is another one that it wasn't anything at the time that I knew. It's something that I've backtracked and listened to, in the past 10 years or so. But love this album and this track especially. It's kind of maybe a little bit AOR prog, a little bit. Don't know how to describe it, but Yeah, Wonderland.
The my brother had the he bought the vinyl of the, I think it was their debut, Night of the Demon.
Yeah.
And it fucking shit me up. I mean, I didn't. The music didn't, obviously, but the album cover, he had the cross in the ground, and there was like inside some like the insides of someone wrapping around the cross and the hands coming out. And then at the beginning of the album, you had like a little intro, which was like sounded like hell, basically. And then all of a sudden, they broke into the music. Don't you know it's the night of the demon? It's like, what the fuck is going? But yeah, but it was brilliant though. I did like it, but it used to shit me up, that cover, for sure. I used to think, you don't know, your imagination, you actually thought you would, listening to it, you would get visited by something, you know. That's how you thought back then when you was a fucking kid. Weird.
And don't play it backwards.
Exactly. Yeah. So talking of demonic bands, my track 9. Oh no, sorry, Jam.
Yes, sorry, that's right. Doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, but yeah. Okay.
Would have been a good lead off though, that one. That would have been a good lead.
Oh, well, you do yours then. It doesn't matter if you go out of order.
No, go on, Jam. You go.
Okay. I won't be too long on this one anyway. Well, surprisingly, I had 2 for track 9. I was a bit like Dom earlier. I had 2 that I really wanted. And the other one is going to be an honourable, because I will talk about them in future shows. And I might not talk about these so much. But so I've gone with the dance floor filler that everybody knows, and it's The Cult from the Love album, and it's She Sells Sanctuary, which is from their second album. I mean, this could be a song that, you know, you guys don't like anymore because you've heard it too much. But for me, every time this comes on, if you're a rock night or a rock disco or whatever you want to call it, and this comes on, I still get up there, not bored of hearing it.
Yeah,
love the song, love the riff. It's just one of them classic songs. It's almost, I could even put this on a night out, you know. If I was at home, I might even put it on. I'm not bored of it at all, and I love it. And I like a few Cult songs. I might mention them again in future ones, but yeah, they're sort of I suppose they were sort of a gothic band thought of originally, weren't they, with the Electric album and this one. But I mean, they're pretty just rock for me. There's nothing really gothic about them, that sort of thing. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's
Sanctuary from Love.
That's definitely a song that you can play at a rock night, you can play at a goth night, you can play it on an 80s night, you can play, you know, it kind of just crosses all.
It just makes your foot stomp, doesn't it? You can't help but stamping your foot for it. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, and it's as you say, just when you think you're sick of it, you'll be at a night out and it's 1 a.m. and you've had a few pints and that comes on and you're like, fuck, get out of my way. You know, so it just has one of those timeless productions and riffs and everything. So
yeah, excellent. Yeah.
Great choice. Okay, so as I was saying, the most demonic band I'm going to choose next, Striper. Yeah, and off a Soldiers Under Command album, which was really the album that I first heard the band and thought it was just amazing. You know, they really were up there with all the other guys at the time. Brilliant guitaring, a true sort of, apart from their earlier on, they had a few of their little ballads which I weren't too keen on, bit too soppy for me. But when they went metal, they could be, you know, they could match anyone. And the song is Surrender, one of my favorite songs from them as well. This has got one of them from Oz Fox. He does this really weird thing on his tremolo arm where he does this really high pitched guitar bit, lead guitar, and he uses tremolo arm at the same time. And it just, you know, at the time when you was a kid, I used to think, you know, they cheated somehow. That must be some sort of trick in the studio. But, he's done it once or twice on every album, and it just amazes you. The guitar solo is amazing. It's sort of a medium paced song. It's a brilliant song. Surrender from Striper, from Soldiers Under Command. That's their actual official debut album because they had an EP out before this. So there you go.
Cool.
Excellent.
Cool.
We're up to track 10, guys.
Track 10.
Wow, it's over already, guys. I can't even believe it.
I know. We're having fun, aren't we? That's why.
I know. We've got a few honorables to talk about as well. So.
Yeah, of course. Track 10, from the much maligned in some corners album Theater of Pain.
By me, yeah.
This is Fight for Your Rights from Motley Crue. I think that's a great riff. I love that. It's a slide down to down to down down to down. Yeah, I've always liked this song. They get to talk about Martin Luther King and everything, which you wouldn't really think about from Motley Crue in 1985. They would be concerned about that, but I think the song has a great feel. I definitely would have had City Boy Blues as my number one if the competition wasn't so heavy, because that's one of my favorite Crue songs of all time. But Fight for Your Rights. I think that's a great song.
Yeah, I like that song, man. Great song. Good. Okay.
Cool. Right, I've gone with, I don't think we had it on our list, but I don't think any of us actually picked it. We talked about it, but from the Asylum album by Kiss.
When you work all day and you don't know why.
There's one thing that money can buy.
You got it.
Yeah, that one.
The one?
All night. All night, yeah. Great album. I must have spent ages thinking of the lyrics for this one and the song, but it's great. That's party song. Surprising. I don't think, was it a single? Don't know if it was a single, but
it was a video as well.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised they put it at track 10 then, which is quite unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
But great song. There's nothing more to say about that, really. We talked about it. Someone might have had it on the list. I'm not sure if they did or not. I think we mentioned it anyway, but I'm not sure if anybody actually had it.
I had something off that album. I don't think it was that, though. I think I had a song.
I like that song, though. I always have.
Okay. Cool. So, my track 10 is off that brilliant Invasion of Your Privacy album.
Look at you, all American.
Dangerous, but worth the risk. That's brilliant. The whole album is.
I know something you
know that is true. Just brilliant. Just brilliant album. I remember where I actually got this. I got this in Virgin Megastore in London. This album.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes you remember where you pick them up, don't you?
You do, yeah.
I got that from there, and it was just huge all the way through the 80s. Still is now. It's one of the first albums, if I get, when I got Spotify a little while ago, it's one of the first albums that went on there because it's one of my first, all the way through them years. It's just still fresh. Great production. Everything about it is amazing. So there you go. Dangerous, but worth the risk. Or dangerous, but worth the risk. So then you can actually rhyme it, can't you?
Yeah, I'm going to say it doesn't rhyme, does it?
No. Dangerous, but worth the risk. Good. Hey, brilliant. Okay, so honourable mentions, guys.
Right, just gonna grab a vinyl. Only a sec.
Yeah. All right, you might as well go carry on then, Dom.
We have props.
Yeah, of course.
Just a few. The one that I was battling for number one with was much different than Slayer. It was Loverboy, loving every minute of it.
I remember that song. It's like, was it a bit of a rap song as well? A slight rap feel to it.
Well, it's funny because I got the years fucked up, and I always thought it was kind of a ripoff of Pour Some Sugar on Me. It's got that love me like a bomb, kind of that sort of thing. But it's 2 years before Hysteria, so this, if anything, this came first. And it's written by Mutt Lange. Coincidentally, loving every minute of it, but it's just got that. It's got that Leopard feel to it. Just a great single. But I had to have Slayer. We've got Fastway's third album, and the last one with our pal from Flogging Molly, Waiting for the Roar, which they took a huge leap into. Melodic AOR rather than the bluesy rock they were doing. This one's keyboards all over the place, but again, very good songs. Got the first Megadeth album, Killing Is My Business. I was tempted to put something from here on, but again, I think they just leaps and bounds for their second album, so I'm sure I'll have something from the later albums on here. Alcatraz, Disturbing the Peace is a great album with Steve Vai on the guitar.
Yeah.
So we got Graham Bonnet and Steve Vai, and great melodic tunes and excellent stuff. And then the other one that I like from this era is Keel, The Right to Rock.
Yeah.
Very anthemic, rock song
They're
about the right to rock.
They're probably going to be appearing later for me, Keel. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like the right to rock, though. You know how I like mine. It's good freedom to rock.
Right. Okay. Good. Some good ones there, mate. What you got, Jam?
Right. Got a few. Number one, Rat, You're in Love. Obviously, everybody loves that song as well. Could have had that at number one. Bon Jovi, we haven't mentioned. In and Out of Love from 7,800 Degrees Fahrenheit. Good song. Could have had that. And Twisted Sister, I thought you might have had some of that, Don, but Come Out and Play, title track. Track one.
Yeah, there's some good tracks on there. Yeah, I was tempted, but didn't quite make it.
That's it. Track two, Kaylee. I know it's one of Marillion's biggest songs, but I still like it, from Misplaced Childhood. Track three, Who Wants to Be Lonely, Kiss. That's one of my new favourites, thanks to you guys, because I do like that song. Track four, as I say, I struggled. Track five, Sink the Pink, AC/DC. We didn't have anything off Fly on the Wall. Rattlehead from Killing Is My Business, could have put that on there. So it's not the best Megadeth album, I don't think, but there's some good bits in it. Nobody went with Wasp at all, but we have talked about them, so obviously we could have had Blinded Texas, number 6. And then number 7 was one from the Rocky soundtrack. It's Robert Tepper and No Easy Way Out. I think Darren mentioned it as well. It's the best song on the soundtrack. It's brilliant. Bullet for My Valentine had done a cover of it as well, which is really good if you haven't heard it. But I think it's on his solo album, so I don't think we can quite have it, because I think it's doubled up. So that's why I didn't pick it.
Okay.
And number 9 is this one I was struggling with, and it's from Halloween, from Walls of Jericho. This is when they were sort of a thrash band still, and the song is How Many Tears, which is an epic, 7 minutes 11-second epic song at the end of this album. It's brilliant song, very very good, and they're sort of showing you what they were going to become on the Keeper album. It's still a bit heavier than that, a bit thrashier, but it's got that epicness that they were going to bring into the Halloween and the Keeper 7 Keys tracks. But like I say, we will talk about them, I'm sure. So that was it. The only other album I wanted to mention, which one I went to get, was this, Misfits, Legacy of Brutality. Misfits are a strange band, but because all their songs were all singles and released independently, so this is a compilation technically. And their songs have all been released before, so I don't know if I can own anything off it anyway. But there's some great stuff on here. If you've never heard the Misfits, Some Kind of Hate, Angel Fuck, Who Killed Marilyn, to name but a few. I think that's it. The only other one was the Mac Lads brought out their first album, if you want a bit of comedy. Beer, Sex, Chips and Gravy. Worth listening to.
Well, the thing is, because you are the rule maker of the game, all you got to do is, you want to include something, is just change the rules.
I could do that.
Yeah.
No. Hey. Where are we? If I make a mistake, then I'll change the rules.
Yeah, exactly. Right, okay, so albums that I really, wouldn't have minded getting on there, but just couldn't quite. Bon Jovi as well. There's a couple off there that more the softer ones I liked on that. Only the Lonely, I love that song. There was another one as well. Hardest Part Is the Night. I love that song as well. So more of the melodic ones on there. Yeah, Dio, Sacred Heart. I would have liked to have got something on there. Also, the Kiss one, Asylum, Wasp, Crew, Theatre of Pain. I would have liked to have something on there from that. Y&T, which I've been including quite a bit, so I thought I'd give them a miss. This was my favourite actually album from them, Down for the Count. But,
that's your favourite one?
Yeah, I love that album. I thought it was the most solid album they've done, but I just thought I've had Y&T nearly all the time, and there's so much in 1985. It's just ridiculous. Asia, this was the one where I was gonna include a song off this, because I had this album, Astra. Yeah, I quite like that album, but just not quite strong enough to get on the list though. And the British band Shy, Brave the Storm album. Love the album. The late Tony Mills on vocals, great singer. Voice. Oh man, just he's a little bit like Tony Harnell in those days. The TNT vocalist can hit any height. He actually obviously changed over. He went to TNT in the end, but the band just didn't do anything decent with Tony Mills, which was a shame. But he's a great vocalist, man. AOR band, obviously, became, I think, more AOR as the time went by. you know. But Brave the Storm.
Or are they melodic rock because they have big hair?
I don't even know what they were, Steve. They was probably one of the ones you could argue about. They were one of the ones that are really in between. Later on, they were very AOR, like later on in their career. But Brave the Storm was a great album. But the only thing that let it down, and it was spoken about at the time, it had hardly any bass on the album. It was a bit like some of them albums at the time didn't have a bass, hardly. But great album. That's my honourable mention, guys. So 1985 done. My favourite year's coming up next, 1986. And yeah, I know. And the weird thing is the live stream's going to hit 86 as well. So it's like I won't have to do too much research, which is good.
No.
That's pretty weird, man. Are you sure you don't want to like just skip a couple of years and
I don't even know why we went backwards on the live stream. It's just fucking. No. We should have just started on 1980 or done the same as what we're doing now. But you know, it's just the same difference, I suppose, isn't it? We're gonna get that way. It's gonna probably get better and better, though, isn't it? Going backwards a little bit. Well, it reached that 86 stage, and then it started going downhill. It's like that middle of the 80s is the one, isn't it? It's just
you have to go up to 90. Yeah,
maybe.
Well, I think we've actually had something that's never happened on one of our shows happen today. There's been no mention of Ramones.
Oh yeah. No album this year.
Oh, no album for 85. No
album.
Any weird as well. Look, that was a surprise back then. Now it's like an album every fucking 6 years if you're lucky from bands, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Lazy.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for coming on as normal. Been a great show. Cool. 86 is next. We'll do 86 next week. I'm sure you got your list together already. I haven't, obviously.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good. All right, and I'll see you next time, guys.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.